Bom dia a todos. E antes de dar início à palestra, eu gostaria de dar algumas informações, ok? Bom, primeiramente, no fim da palestra, vocês terão acesso a um formulário de presença. Esse formulário ele estará nos comentários da aba aí do YouTube e também vai estar na descrição do vídeo. Então, não esqueçam de respondê-lo, por favor, tá? Depois, também na descrição do vídeo, vocês terão disponível o link da próxima palestra que será realizada às 14 horas. E se vocês tiverem alguma dúvida durante a palestra do palestrante, escrevam no comentário e quando ele terminar a palestra, a gente vai ler para ele poder responder, ok? E, por fim, eu gostaria também de falar que essa palestra ela vai ser realizada em inglês. Então, quando o palestrante aparecer aqui, eu vou começar a falar em inglês também, ok? Então, vamos dar início. So, our next speaker is Tashnim Jabir Shovon Chowdhury. He is Bachelor of Science degree, Electrical and Electronic Engineering by the Chittagong University of Engineering and Technology. He is also Master of Science, Electrical Engineering by University of Toledo. And at the moment, he is a Graduate Research Assistant by University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and also he's doing PhD about information system. On his lecture, he will talk about the journey of a graduate student of electrical and electronic engineering in the USA. So now I'll give the floor to Mr. Tashnim Jabir. Enjoy the lecture.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Tashnim Chowdhury. Currently I'm a PhD student and graduate research assistant at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County in the Information Systems Department. I did my bachelor's in electrical and electronic engineering from the Chittagong University of Engineering and Technology. Just to remind you that back in 2008 when I started my bachelor's, our department didn't have a telecommunication department. We only had electronic and electronics engineering department, because I see this trend in some other countries like India or in USA or in other countries. They have separate electrical engineering department and they have electronics engineering department. But in my university, they had combined both electrical and electronic engineering. So I started my bachelor back in 2008, and since as I already told that both electrical and electronic engineering was combined, we had to go through all types of fields of electrical and electronic engineering, including like the basics of electrical circuits, high voltage systems, then the also including the telecommunication systems, communication theories, also even semiconductor design, and everything. We also had some a prerequisite to complete some other courses from the computer science and the mechanical engineering department, but those are very basic courses. So I completed my bachelor's back in 2012. But then I thought maybe I should go for higher studies. So back then, it was like in my mind, I thought that if for the graduate study, I can choose either like Germany or any European countries or maybe USA. The one of the difficult part for anyone if they want to get into the US for the graduate study, that they had to go through some exams. For example, they have to sit through GRE, graduate record examination, which is basically divided into two parts. Like you have to go through the quantitative section, you have to go through the qualitative sections, where you have to prove your English efficiency and also math math skills. So the GAD exam was a little bit difficult for any foreign students. Then also for the language proficiency test, students have to pass through the TOEFL test. TOEFL is just like IELTS, but TOEFL is more acceptable in the US. Um, but if I have chosen any other European countries, I don't have to go through all these exams. I can just apply using their application systems, and just my credential would be my results from the undergraduate university. But but I thought maybe I can sit through those exams and try see if I can get into a university in US, and uh, also definitely with some financial assistance, because education is very expensive in US. I mean, either it's undergrad study, or it is graduate study. It's very expensive in US. So without actually for any student from Bangladesh or maybe some other country, it's quite difficult to study in US without financial assistance. So I was fortunate enough to get the admission, uh, and also the assistance, teaching assistantship back in 2014. Yeah, back in 2014 from the University of Toledo. It's in Ohio. Um, so when I first got the admission, I mean, it was a very happy moment for me, first of all. But I was also very scared and confused, because I'm going to a new country and I have no idea about their education system. Because back in my country, in Bangladesh, education system is kind of different from the US. Um, and all through my life, I have gone through all the most of the educational institutions I have attended are all public education institutions, and I don't know whether how much different they would be in US. So definitely, as a new student in US, I was very afraid, truly speaking, in the beginning. So I first arrived in US back in 2014, August 1st. Um, my classes started from August 25th, 2014. So I got admitted in the electrical engineering department as a master's student. Um, so initially it was very difficult, especially from the perspective of communication, because English is not my native language. So I speak in Bengali. Maybe most of you have heard of this language, Bengali. Uh, Lots of people speak in Bengali, including Bangladesh and some part of India. So when since childhood, I always used to use Bengali to talk to my family and relatives and friends. But now I'm in a different country, and it's very difficult to get someone who can speak Bengali, right? Because I am surrounded by people from US and people from all other different countries, and without English, it's not possible to communicate uh, among among us, right? So communication was a big issue in the first, but I was fortunate enough that we had a big community in Toledo, and there was at least 15 to 20, around 10 to 15 more students, Bengali students, who are also doing either masters or PhD in the University of Toledo. So I had some people to talk in Bengali, but the most important fact is, when someone go to a country, I think he should learn the language, uh, whether it's in Germany, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in India, or whether it's in Australia, any other countries. He should learn the language, and because communication and networking skill is very important for anybody's career. Anyway, I was quick enough to adapt to the new situation, and I started talking to other people from different other countries, because uh, in US, in US, at least for the graduate study, you see lots of people are basically from the different other countries. For example, most of the people are from China, most of the people are from India, Korea, Bangladesh, Pakistan. So you'll see lots of people from these countries. So you'll see lots of variety of cultures and languages, and but we all have to communicate through the common language English. Anyway, back then I was fortunate enough to came to know about lots of very talented people. For I had a friend who is from Nepal, and he was kind of the uh, top student from his city. So w- so when I started my master's degree back in 2014, I came to know about different students from different countries, right? And definitely they have different capabilities. Right? I'll talk about the courses a little bit later. First, I want to talk about like how I adapt myself to the new situation. So I came to know about different people, like my friend from the Nepal. I also friend from the Iraq, and I also came to know about uh, Wagner. He's also from Brazil. Uh, so I came to know about different people, and they are very talented people. So if you want to do good in your courses, if you want to do good in your classes, then you have to, I have to pace myself with their pace, right? So for example, just to give you an example, back in during my undergrad, although we had a course in MATLAB, uh, hope you already know what is MATLAB is. It's a software we usually use in the electrical engineering department. Even this software is used almost everyone to write the simulations of different algorithms. But during my undergrad, I was not good at MATLAB. But when I first came to US and I studied my graduate courses, I saw that MATLAB is used everywhere. All the courses, all the projects, you have to complete your projects in MATLAB, right? And I was not good at MATLAB, truly speaking. Um, so what I did, I started I started learning MATLAB with my friend from Nepal. I mean, he was very talented and he was very good at MATLAB. So what I did, so we are group partners in one of the graduate project. So I told him, uh, this project this semester, you do the coding. I will sit next to you. I will ask you questions how and why you are doing or writing this kind of instructions on MATLAB. I will do all the reports, right? Because I wanted to take that semester or take that opportunity to work with him and learn how to do the course in MATLAB. So he helped me a lot. He sit with me hours and hours and taught me how to write codes in MATLAB, what to write, why, and what kind of functions to use for what purposes and everything. So in the second semester, I said, okay, now this semester we are still the project partners, even in the second semester in other courses. I said this time I will write the code. I know this will take some time. I'm not that efficient because I just learned last semester. So I will write the code this semester. You will do the reports. And definitely you will help me if I'm stuck or I did anything wrong in my code. So 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 this was a great experience for me because first I learn how to write codes in MATLAB, and secondly, I try to implement it in the next semester. And definitely, it was not easy. Like I had to spend weeks after weeks for my course project while writing the code. I mean, the maybe formulating the theory was okay. Maybe it took a week, but writing the code it took me maybe a couple of weeks because I was still learning the MATLAB. Uh, So I think this is one of the important point in my graduate life, because I didn't know something what other people knew, but since I was eager enough to learn from them, and I was eager enough to learn a new language or learn a new software, it's very important. I mean, like, you always have to learn something new. You always definitely find something new that you don't know and other people knows. Um, anyway, so I was very interested in the communication systems actually. uh, During my undergrad, most of the people, most of my friends actually uh, uh, interested in the power systems. Back in Bangladesh, we have lots of power engineering companies, and they have lots of power stations. And most of my friends were interested in power stations and high voltage system and everything. But somehow in my mind, I was more inclined towards the communication systems. But unfortunately, not most of my friends were not interested in the communication systems. But when I started my graduate study in Toledo, I saw that there's a lots of communication systems uh, graduate courses offered at the University of Toledo. So I was very happy, and I took all of them. There was a professor, Dr. Kim. He offered 3 graduate courses on the communication systems, like Communication System 1, Communication System 2, Information Theory and Coding. And I took all the 3 courses with him. And he covered all the basics, all the advanced topics in the communication systems. And I was very happy, actually, that what I couldn't do during my undergrad, I am able to learn more, and even I can do research in the communication systems, right? Because I have covered all the advanced topics um, during my masters. I also came, I also came to know about neural networks during my masters. I think I took the course back in 2000. I think spring 2015. I took neural network course, and it was very interesting. Um, it was offered by Dr. Vijay, but he's not with the University of Toledo anymore. He moved to another university. But that is a very interesting course. So so when I start my graduate study for my masters, I almost knew nothing about MATLAB. I almost knew nothing about research. I almost knew nothing about the graduate study. But after I start, I wanted to learn about new technologies like even Python, MATLAB, even research. Because when you come from a undergraduate degree, not much people actually do research in the undergraduate during their undergrad. So when I start my research, because there are 2 ways, excuse me, there are 3 ways you can do masters in US. I don't know about other European countries or how they complete their masters, I think, but in US there are 3 ways you can do your masters: either by doing research, either by just taking all the courses, or either project and courses. It's a combination of project and courses. So but my intention was to do research, so I took the thesis based masters. And thesis based masters was quite difficult for me, because during my undergrad there was not much research thing we did. We just did an undergraduate research, and we basically worked on the information theories, like like convolutional cores, turbo cores, and everything, some advanced topics in the information theory. But other than that, I didn't have any research experience in my undergrad. So it was quite challenging for me when I started my thesis for my masters. So definitely I got a lot of help from a friend. All of my friends actually, all of my friends, I got the help from my advisors. I had actually 2 advisors, one advisor and another co-advisor. Both of them helped me a lot. I mean, sometimes my advisor just asked me to come to his office and told me, what's your like, what do you need, to complete your thesis, like, I mean, do you need any help, do you need any kind of assistance from someone, I can connect you to other people, you know. Because that's how I got to know my co-advisor. So one day my advisor just asked me to come. Okay. So he used to call me Jabir. Jabir is my middle name actually. So Jabir, do you have any questions? Do you want any help to do your thesis? Because I'm from undergrad. I just came from the undergraduate study, but and you need some assistance to know how to do research, right? So research is a different thing than the coursework. So that's how then he talked to another professor, and then okay, he can also help you with your research. And also our research lab was rich, and there are lots of students, lots of graduate PhD and senior students who helped me to understand some topics, and like how to do the research, like which paper to read, how to extract information from other papers, how can you try to build a novel idea based on those papers, how to construct your thoughts to make a novel contribution. So all this help, all this contribution really helped me to complete my, or came to know, or complete my graduate thesis, my master's thesis. So I defended my master's thesis in fall 2016. After completing all the courses I took, and while completing the courses from fall 2014, I was still doing some research. Like I was trying to spend few time also in the research, so that I'm not behind other students, because there are lots of talented students, I told you before. So I have to spend at least couple of hours each day to know about the area I am doing research. So the topic of my research was localization of wireless sensor networks. So it was definitely quite new topic for me. I never worked with wireless sensor networks during my undergrad, and at the time I had to start looking at some statistical modeling. I never heard of or even tried statistical modeling during my undergrad. So definitely I have to start studying about the statistical modeling. I had to start studying about the wireless sensor networks, about the localization theories of the wireless sensor networks, and everything, right? So I also had to study the master's thesis, PhD thesis of other people who did their research in this field. So it was quite a long journey, and I had to start early because I was new to the field. So I started studying and doing research right from the beginning of my master's. Although few people prefer to complete the courses first, then go through the research. But back in my mind, I thought, okay, if I just complete the coursework first, then do research, it will be too late. I mean, because all these topics are new for me, so I have to start studying those topics. Otherwise, I'll definitely fall behind, and I don't know when I'm gonna graduate. And definitely, my advisor wanted to publish papers, right? So I have to start early, otherwise I can't write papers because I don't have enough knowledge to even write a journal paper on the topic. Anyway, I was able to complete my thesis, and I defended in fall 2016. So after that, there was a confusion, like, should I move forward with my graduate study, start my PhD, and or should I just join the industry? So after my undergrad, I didn't join any industry back in my country. So I didn't have any job experience back then. So I was still in US. I thought, should I start graduate study, or should I like start a job, try to look for a job, like, because definitely getting a job will be a new experience. I never had a job before. I just I'm still a student, right? Right after my undergrad, I am starting my graduate degree. So I talked to my advisor, but my advisor actually suggested me that uh, Jabir, because he used my middle name to call me. So Jabir, I think you should start your PhD. I hope you will do good in PhD. But I thought, but back in my mind, I mean, I just wanted to get experience in the job industry, like how they work. I mean, how things works in the actual practical field. So I told my advisor that I will definitely do my or start my PhD, but I just want to get a little bit experience of the practical field of the industry, because all through my life I just studied and studied. I just need to know how those things got applied in the industry. I just need to know. I just need to work in a company to see how things works actually in the real world. So, and I was fortunate enough uh, to get a job in March, 2017, back in March 2017. And it's actually a very interesting job because I'm from the electrical background. I did my masters, and interestingly, most of my courses are from the communication systems. Most of my courses are communication systems, and because I love communication systems, that's why I took all the communication system courses from the University of Toledo. There were some other courses like social networking and some others computer science related courses, but I never took them. I was just interested in the communication systems. uh, so I had the electrical engineering study. I had the commercial system study, and during my master's thesis, I did some statistical modeling using MATLAB, but no other high level or low level programming languages like Python, or lower level language like C, C++. So, but the job I got was very interesting because they require someone who knows both programming and electrical engineering. Because the company I worked for was actually the name of the company is Fluence Automation. They usually work with the sorting machine. Sorting machine is basically, so when lots of parcels are collected as in a courier company. For example, let's think about DHL. So definitely DHL collect all the packages from different states and cities of US. So they collected from different cities of, for example, Maryland is a state, right? So they collected all the packages from different cities of the state. They put it in a one central place, and from this place they have a sorting machine. They just put the packages in the machine, and the machine read the destination and sort all the packages based on their destinations. For example, if a package is supposed to go to a city A, it will be sorted to a large box or that is supposed to go to city A. Then if a package is supposed to go to city B, the machine will read the level and it will sort the package to the box of city B. So they basically try to work with this kind of sorting machines. And Fluence has different customers uh, from German postal system, Russian postal system, Canada Post. From the US, they have USPS. I personally worked with USPS. They had UPS. Right now, they are working with the Amazon because also Amazon also need to sort their packages. Right now, they are working with the Amazons. Even Fluence even build the sorting machine for the US election, because for the voting system, right, you guys maybe probably know that this year they used a lot of mail-in votes in US, and they need to sort those votes, right? So they use the Fluence Automation supplied sorting machine to the different states for the US election. So I had to take a look both the electrical engineering part and also the uh, programming part of the machine. So it was really a very rich experience for me because you can see a machine that is almost like a big, almost as big as a American football. Not about, I'm not talking about soccer. American football field, like 100 years. And I mean, it's a very long machine. You have to go through all the steps, all the processing part of the machine to check, okay, which part is not working correctly. Is there any wiring issue? Is there any communication protocol issue? Is there any software bugs that we are putting in the machine? So it was a very rich experience for me. So after I think so after almost 3 years, I worked for the company for almost 3 years. Initially, it was Post IS. The name of the company was Post IS. Then Fluence Automation bought the company, so it became Fluence Automation. But I worked with the same team for almost 3 years. So, according to the US immigration system, after you get a graduate degree in US, you can first can get a 1 year of um, OPT. OPT is basically you can get a job and work for any company for 1 year. Then, if you are from the STEM field basically means science and technology field, including math, physics, engineering degrees, any kind of engineering degrees, mechanical, electrical, telecommunication, civil engineering, you can get 2 more extra years to work with any company. So since I'm from the electrical engineering department, I was able to get 3 years of work opportunity in US. So I stayed all these 3 years with the same company and worked with building different kind of sorting machines for different companies. So after 3 years, I thought, yes, now it's time to start my PhD. So I again started and I got myself admitted at the University of Maine in Baltimore County at the Information Systems Department. And now I started working as a graduate research assistant while doing my PhD. Right now I'm actually far away from my basic background, like from the electrical. So I started my undergrad with the electrical engineering. Then I did my masters almost all in communication systems. Now I'm doing in information theory. I know the topics has changed a little bit, and actually it started when I took my course neural networks during my masters. So from this neural network, I also got interested in some other topics and in the information theory, in the data science. And right now I'm doing my PhD research in the computer vision. Computer vision. And we are basically working with different companies. The graduate research funds are coming from different companies like Microsoft and Amazon. We are basically working with detecting the damages done by different natural disasters. Like right now, due to the global warming, we see there is a huge rise of frequency in occurring the natural disasters, whether it's a hurricane, flood, tsunami. We try to basically do the use do the do the deep learning for the computer vision, so to detect the damage done by any natural disaster. So right now this is my research topic for my PhD. I mean, I don't want to go into details like about the research, but the overall idea is I'm doing some computer vision to estimate the damages done by the natural disasters. So so all through my talk, I just wanted to emphasize that from the undergrad to the graduate study as a master's student, graduate study as a PhD student, I always have to adapt myself to the new pace. I mean, like for example, even if you are a communication engineer, or even if you're an electrical engineer, for example, in the communication engineer or telecommunication engineer, as a telecommunication engineer, you definitely have to pass through different kind of exams from the Cisco. For example, I came to know about the Cisco exams if you want to be a network engineer, right? There are different levels of certification from the Cisco. And right now, 5G is already here. Lots of companies are uh, have already adapted to 5G technology. I mean, so there's more certification if you want to work in the telecommunication field or communication systems field. So always it's always in my mind. I always try to adapt myself to the new pace, because I know lots of people came from different fields, so they have some extra knowledge. They might know more about the field than I am, right? So the thing is, you have to know the people. You have to know the people from your field. If I just confine myself in my own environment, I'll never be able to learn about new things. I will never be able to learn what's going on in the world, right? And the main contribution of any scientific research should be for the betterment of uh, humans, for the betterment of the world, right? We all live in the world together, and we should do something good for the world, for ourselves, for our family, for our community, for our country, and for the whole human world, right? So, but right now, research is very fast. I mean, it's always adapting, it's always changing, and you always need to know which person to talk. You always need to know where to go and which technology to learn, right? So you always have to be self-aware, and you always have to understand, and you always have to predict what's going to happen in future. And this way you can adapt and learn new things. I came from an undergraduate university where I didn't know something, but I wanted to adapt myself and learn those ideas during my master's. Then I moved to a job where I have no idea about the programming, but I had to adapt myself. I only had the background of electrical engineering, but I also had to adapt myself to the programming part to excel in my job. Then I started my research in computer vision, where I have no idea. Like I have background, truly speaking, I have background, but definitely I don't know the state of art research in the computer vision. So I have to spend more time than other students who came from the computer vision background, because I have to be in the same pace with others who are doing research with me, right? Otherwise I will not be able to contribute the way they are contributing right now. So so in a summary, I always try to learn. I always try to adapt myself. I always try to know new people. I always try to know new ideas, know new technologies. And I think this way, all of us can actually contribute more to the society and contribute more for the betterment of the world. Um, so I think that's it. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions and comments, please let me know. So today engineers are getting more and more opportunities on the financial market. How does it go internationally? Yes, actually that's a very good question. Uh, Truly speaking, in the financial, from the engineering and the financial market point of view, uh, lots of people are basically going towards the data science, because in the financial market, even from the stock market point of view, they work with lots of data. They have years of data collected, and they can predict which product will go, the value of the stock of which product will go, and which product will go up and down. They can predict just from the data and just from other features of the market. So if some engineers have any background in the data science, uh, definitely they get more opportunity in the financial market. Definitely, that's true. Yeah. And also internationally is very true. I saw in US, lots of my friends just they had degrees in other different fields, but maybe some part of their degree involves data science and the working with the data, and they are getting very good jobs in the financial market. Yes.
Well, so let's go for the next question.
Okay.
Isabelle Marconsola asks, everything you learned at your college was enough to pass in the USA exam, or did you have to learn and search more than you thought?
Yes. So not everything was not enough. What I learned in my undergrad college, definitely I had to search a lot. I mean, right now actually lots of stuff, lots of study materials are available in the internet. I mean, like there are Coursera, there are Udacity, there's a lots of online courses, there are lots of even you'll find courses from Stanford, MIT available in the online. I mean, like even when I'm doing my PhD, I first go through the courses of the Stanford. There are lots of courses in the Stanford offered in the same area I'm doing my research. So I have to go through these courses, because at the end when I'm writing a paper, or at the end when I am contributing something, I have to contribute the way they are doing, right? So they are also publishing in the same conference, I am also want to publish in the same conference, right? Then you have to know what they're doing, what's the current research, what, and actually sometimes you will find that a idea is better explained in somewhere else, right? So if sometimes it's in the book, sometimes it's in a video lecture, sometimes even it's from your friend. I mean, like your friend might understand a topic very good, very nicely, and you can just ask him, do you know this thing? I don't understand, I have some confusion here and there. You can just ask him, he will explain you can find a lecture on the YouTube, you can find a lecture from any other university website, I think. So obviously not all the topics was covered during my undergrad. I had to search through different study resources in the internet. Okay. So so the next question is, how do you feel about your career, and how you see engineering like a realization in your life? What made you did this choice? uh, truly speaking, when I got into the engineering, so it was not like that I want to be engineer, uh, it was like a trend. Okay, now your parents always push you, okay, you have to be engineer or you have to be a doctor or something, right? So when I start my engineering, there was no motivation, truly speaking, if I want to speak honestly. But uh, I I came to like the engineering when I start my study. So I came to know lots of way you can work with your circuit design, you can work with your semiconductor design, you can even write a small program to run a machine, So that's why you get excited. Okay, wow, I can write a simple, 10-line code and I can make something work, or I can uh, make a small change in my circuit, I make a small change in my protocol, and I can communicate to other devices through this. So as the study was going on, I started to like the engineering. But when I started engineering, it was not my motivation. I mean, I was not, it was like a push from your parents. Okay, like, okay, you should study engineering, it's a good field. But I started like the engineering concepts when I started studying.
Okay. So the next question is from João Pedro Rebouças Maia. He asks, what are the routine study skills that you consider most important to develop during graduation to achieve the goal of working or studying abroad?
Okay. I think one of the most important thing I forgot to mention actually during my lecture is that you should know the you should know what's going to happen in future. For I mean not in future. I mean, for example, just to give a very shallow example. For example, you want to get a job in the telecommunication field, for example. So, for example, you are still in the second year of your undergraduate study, but you can still look for. It's not harmful just to see what's the requirement actually the company looking for, right? You can just go to a job website and see, okay, what kind of requirements they need, what kind of knowledge they require from a candidate, right? So although you are just in the second year student, you have maybe 2 more years to complete your study, but you already know that, okay, by these 2 years I should know this kind of knowledge, I should know this kind of technology, this kind of ideas, if I want to get a job in this kind of field or in this kind of industry. So it's true for any level of study you want. And at least for me, you can't learn something like overnight. I mean, you have to spend a little bit time everything. I'm not saying that you have to spend 2 hours 3 hours a day for a new topic. No, you can just sit for half an hour, okay, and 30 minutes is each day is a lot of time if you spend for 7 days a week. I mean, it's a lot of time if you spend 30 minutes for a new topic. You can just watch a lecture, just start your YouTube video lecture and just sit down and try to listen and understand. And definitely you will not understand at the first time. Definitely there will be lots of ideas given by the professor that you will not understand. You can watch the lecture again the next day. The more you watch, the more you study, the more you will be able to understand the topic. So it's just a little bit here and there. You can find time from your daily life that, okay, I'll maybe this 30 minutes I can use for these topics. That's it. I mean, very small change in your routine will be enough.
Okay, let's go to our next question. So Daniel Moraes Duval asks, how is the area of telecommunications engineering in the United States? And what is your motivation to study communication systems?
Telecommunication engineering is very rich field in US. Actually, I know few people who are working in this field, and as I told you, the telecommunication field is always changing. Right now we have 5G, so people have to know, all the new engineers have to know how the 5G works, how they can incorporate those ideas in their new telecommunication setup and everything. So they always have to adapt to the new technology, new communication technology. And my inspiration to the communication system was a little bit different. I mean, like during my undergrad, I thought, okay, I see the power stations are working, okay, but going communi- communicating through a wire seems very interesting to me. I mean, back in undergrad, I was very fascinated. Okay, just going, people can talk through. I mean, during using the cell phone, people can talk. Using the landlines, people can talk. I mean, all those big towers, those cell towers, mobile cell towers. I mean, how they are working. I was very fascinated, and I mean, the way they work, that inspired me to go further into the commission system. I mean, the way they work. That's why I was interested in the commission system.
Okay, next is from André Vinhas. What certifications in the telecommunications area the industries are asking most for the 5G scenario? Does it include Cisco CCNA and MikroTik?
Actually, truly speaking, I don't know what kind of certification they need for the 5G right now. I was asking one of my friend, I think, couple of days ago, that they have to do some certification. He said he has to pass through some exams for the 5G, but I don't know their name exactly. Truly speaking, right now I don't know their name. But I think they have to go through some certification if they want to continue their job in the commission systems. Yeah, yeah. In US, yes.
Okay, let's go to the next. Vinicius S. Rosa asks, good morning, Professor. Since graduate studies are usually highly expensive in America and not affordable for an average Brazilian student, what are the real ways that one could study over there?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's also applicable to me because I'm also from a very middle class family back in Bangladesh. So definitely, it's not possible for students like me to complete a graduate study in US since it's very expensive. Uh, few things. First, if someone has a very good GPA, very good GPA, and some good research experience. I know during the undergrad it's not possible to get a very good research experience, but even if someone able to publish one or two papers in a conference or even journal papers are very good, then definitely it will help to highlight their profile that okay, this student has a very good GPA, this student has a very good research experience, and also if he can score at least moderately well in GRE and TOEFL, it's easy to get at least from my experience and what I see over the last 5 years. I saw that it's very easy to get either teaching assistantship, or teaching assistantship is basically offered from the department, and or graduate research assistantship is basically offered from the different professors from their research funds. So I think even for the extraordinary students with high GPA, very good research publications from reputed conference and journal, they would even get fellowship. But what if you are already in the third year, or you already in the fourth year, and your GPA is not maybe not the base? What would happen back then? So in this scenario, you can still try to score high in your GRE exam and in your TOEFL exam. So even if your GPA, for example, you are already in the third year and fourth year, you know that you can't get a good GPA or high GPA right now, because if you're in the first year, then you can okay, from the I can start working very hard and I can get a very good GPA and everything. So it will be easier for me to get admission in the US and go for the higher studies. But for example, you are in the third year or fourth year, is already too late for you to get a very good GPA. But you can still try to do as best you can. Try to publish one or two papers, contact your professors, contact your teachers, try to get involved with them in research, maybe publish one or two conference papers, and definitely try to do good in GRE and TOEFL exams. I mean, those two exams also very important for the assistantship. So hopefully I answered your question.
Okay. So we have one last question. Isabelle Marconsola asks, have you ever felt underestimated by other colleagues for not being from the USA? And if yes, how did you deal with it?
Actually, it's just the opposite. When I came here, and definitely my colleagues from US, they know that I came here from another country, and getting into the US, you have to be very good. Even if you want to get a job in US, if you want to get a job, or even if you want to continue in US, I mean, you have to be very good. Otherwise, I'll not be able to get any job, or even I'll not be able to continue my study or continue my job in the field. So my colleagues, when they saw okay, I'm doing my best, so I was able to I was pushing very hard uh, to excel in my job and also excel in my study. So they knew that since I'm pushing too hard, I knew lots of things. That's why lots of my friends from lots of my international friends, Iraq, whether he's from Iraq, whether he's from Nepal, they respect me a lot, because I might not be the best, but I try to learn a lot. And they like those ideas. Even during my job, my manager, he liked me a lot just because I always wanted to learn. That's the only thing only thing inspired him to hire me for back in 2017. I understand, because I didn't know all the things. That's true, but I can push myself and I can learn the things very quickly. And my US colleagues, actually, they are very helpful. They are actually very helpful. I in the beginning, when I started my job, I used to pester them a lot. I mean, like, what is this? Why do this? Why do this? Please send me the documents. I'll read through those documents and try to understand how the system works and everything. And they helped me a lot, and they never underestimated me, but they later estimated me, but they just helped me and they respect me a lot. I mean, I was very grateful to my US colleagues. Yes.
Okay, so we have no more questions. So thank you so much for your lecture and also for your participation. And it's an honor to have you in our event. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the questions, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I really loved it, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Enjoy your day.
Thank
Bye.
you too. Good. Uh, então, para finalizar, gente, eu só queria lembrá-los, então, de algumas coisas. Agora nós iremos fazer, então, uma pausa para o almoço e a próxima palestra será realizada às 14 horas. E o link dela estará nos comentários e na descrição do vídeo, tá? E não se esqueçam também, por favor, de responder o formulário de presença, que é muito importante. Obrigado a todos e tenham um ótimo evento.